Praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today's bit of encouragement is going to be coming from the scriptures, 1 Samuel 15 and 22, and it reads, "And Samuel said, Had the Lord as great delight in burnt offering and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than to sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams." So it's better for us to obey than have to go through tests and trials and tribulations just because we didn't listen. So whatever you do, always remember to just be submissive and submit to the will of God and submit to the authority that God has placed over you, both in your church and in your home. You know, submit to your pastor and to the elders of that church, but also submit to your parents, and don't be a disobedient child. God hates disobedience, and disobedience will bring you nothing but pain and suffering. The Bible tells us that that if we don't have chastisement, then we are not a son, but we are a bastard. We're a bastard and not a son. So it's really important that you learn to submit to the will of God and learn to be obedient to God's will. Just a few days ago, my dog had ate a grape, and if you don't know that grapes are very toxic to dogs, so they're not allowed to have them. So what I had to do was I had to give him peroxide to make him throw up, so he can throw up the toxins that was in his body, or he could have died. So I was trying to give it to him, and he was resisting me. He was fighting me. He was kicking me. He was scratching me. He was trying to do all this, so I couldn't give them that peroxide. But all I was doing was trying to save his life. And it's like that with God. All God is doing is trying to save our lives, but we kick him, we fight him, we yell at him, and we do all these things to him when all he's doing is trying to save our life. And it's like, why are we doing this? For a boy, for a girl, just for some weed, for some drugs, or something like that? It's like all God's doing is trying to save our lives, and we're fighting him for something that's not important. We're fighting him for something that's going to take us straight to hell. And it's like, why are you doing this? All God's doing is trying to save you from hell, and we're fighting the only one that's able to save us. We need to stop being resistant and start being submissive to the will of God, because the more we resist God, the closer we become to being given over to a reprobate mind, and God will harden our hearts the more we become resistant to his will. And once that happens, it's very unlikely that you can get back to the point where you were. So it's really important just to be obedient to God and be obedient to the authority that he has put in your life, because they're only there to help you. They're only there to help you go further in the Lord. So really be obedient and listen to them. If your child was disobedient towards you, you would have a problem with that. So it's the same way with God. When you're disobedient to God, he has a problem with it, and he's going to chastise you because you were disobedient and you didn't do what he told you. So it's the same thing with God. So in the natural, so in the spiritual. So we got to be obedient for God, or we must suffer the consequences. If you want your child to treat you right and treat you with respect, then you have to do the same thing with God. You got to do what God tells you, or then you're going to be in big trouble. You will become so much better in life just by being obedient to the word of God, and not butting back, well, but this and but that, but just saying, okay, I'll do this and I'll do that. And if the pastor is wrong, then, and they're telling you to do something wrong, then you go to God and pray about it, and you pray, but you don't go against that pastor, because the Bible tells us not to rebuke an elder. If something is wrong in the church, then you go to God about it, and he will handle that situation. But other than that, you are to be obedient to the word of God, and you are to be submissive to what the pastor tells you and to what God tells you. So thank you all for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.